Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. I also want to take time out to recognize those that catch me on the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. Tonight we're speaking from the topic, which side are you playing on? Which side are you playing on? And what we're really talking about tonight is the difference between healing and hurting. The differences between healing and hurting. So I appreciate you guys that are taking time out to join me here every night. As you guys log on here with me, please let me know you're there. Leave your shout out or your hello in the comment section. I love to hear from you and know that you're here with me. And for those that have requested to be tagged, I do the best that I can to make sure that you're getting the notifications to know that I am here, because there has been comments of people reaching out saying that the videos are not letting them, Facebook is not alerting them that I am live, and so there has been a question of whether or not I am live. So I'm here every night at 10 p.m. So if you're not getting the notifications and you would like for me to tag you, I'd be glad to do that, as I remember to do that. And also, I upload all of these videos, all of my lives and other content are uploaded to, hey Tammy, how are you, babe? All of my content is uploaded to my YouTube channel and my SoundCloud channel. So if you would like to make sure that you get all the content and make sure you don't miss anything in case you're not here with me at 10 o'clock p.m. every night, you can get that content on demand. Also, if there's an issue or a challenge or something in life that you're dealing with, and you want to know if I've ever talked about that subject on this platform or ever addressed that situation, please feel free to like and subscribe to those channels and check the library there and see if there is a topic that can help you with an issue that has come up in your life that maybe you need a little encouragement or a different perspective on that particular topic or subject. So lots of great content there, over hundreds of videos there, and I cover a variety of topics that relate to us as everyday people, everyday men and women, just trying to make it through life, just looking for an encouraging word along the way. And, it's all real life. I said last night, I mentioned that, no matter what it looks like, that we all have issues, guys. We are all real people. And sometimes we get that perception in our mind that some people are doing so well that they don't have problems. And that's not so. The difference between someone with issues that are making gains in life and those that are just sitting still or fall by the wayside is their desire or their will to really press through whatever it is that they're going through. And there are times where we all want to give up. There are times where we all want to throw in the towel. There are times when life punches us in the face so hard that we just want to give up and say, what's the use? But then we have to come to ourselves and realize that, things are going to happen. And in my 44 years of life, if I made it through some of the traumatic events that I went through, even when I didn't have sense enough to take care of myself, if I made it through all that, then surely I can make it through whatever it is that I'm going through today. Hey, Miss Bills, how you doing, honey? It's good to see you. So, life doesn't come to count us out. It doesn't come to count us out. And sometimes, you know, we look at it that way. Sometimes it seems that way because so many things hit us from back to back to back. And we're so consumed in our world and the things that are going on that we feel like we're the only ones struggling through that. But there are so many others. Hey, Keisha, good to see you tonight, hon. There's so many of us that are going through, and some of us, we wear it on our face and we wear it in the things that we do, and some of us look like we have not been through it at all. But nevertheless, however we look when we're going through, or however it seems when we're going through it, however we get through it, the only thing that matters at the end of the day is that we get through it. And some of us come out with the battle scars showing, with the physical, right? But what about those of us that wear it emotionally or mentally or spiritually, and we're taking those punches? We're still in a challenge. We're still in a battle. Yet, how we come out, it may look a little different, but all that matters is that we continue to press through whatever it is. That's all that matters. Because a lot of us, we think it's a foot race. And it's not. You know, I'd rather go through and take my time and go through it and get through it and learn through it and grow through it and develop through it than rush through it, hoping that it's over and praying that it's over, only to have to see it again later down the line. So let me go through and go through with grace and go through with my mind focus and go through with my perspective intact and go through and develop and be able to turn around once I make it through it and help pull somebody else through. Help be there to cheer someone else through. Help be there to coach somebody else through. And this is what it's all about. And once we get that, and we get that in our minds, and we grab a hold to that concept, then everything about life, no matter what it is, good or bad, difficult or hard, it changes everything. Once we realize that it's not coming to defeat us, it's coming to groom us and help redefine us and purge us and to cleanse us, that makes all the difference in the world. So we go through and we go through with that grace, knowing that if he brought us through whatever it is that we've been through in the past years, he can definitely bring us through anything that waits for us in the future. Because now we are wiser, now we are more sensitive to his voice, now we are more in tune to our purpose and our destiny. So this is what it's all about. So tonight, guys, I just want to pose the question for you and to you: which side are you playing on? Which side are you playing on? And when I say that, are we on the side of healing, or are we on the side of hurting? And this is kind of the scale that we're on. We're those people that are healed. That means have taken all the punches and all the blows and everything that comes at us, and we continue to triumph, and we continue to take new ground, and we continue to grow and develop and continue to learn our life lessons and continue to expand our territory and continue to help others heal? Or are we on the side of hurting, to where we have felt like we've accumulated so many blows that we don't know from 1 minute to the next where we stand? We don't know from 1 minute to the next what behavior we're going to display if just one more thing comes our way. We don't know from 1 minute to the next if we can just get through the day without the harmful thoughts, or without feeling that we're useless, or without distorted images of ourselves, or without wearing the labels that have been imposed upon us. And there's only one other side we're on. And how do we know which side of the field we're playing on? Which side of the field are we on? Because many of us would like to think that we are okay. But what I find is that sometimes we can deceive ourselves into just thinking we're okay, because of the conditioning that we have been so privy to throughout our culture and our life, to keep your business your business. And as long as we can keep it covered up and nobody knows about it, then we're okay. But I say time and time again, and I make it a habit to say, that we cannot escape ourselves. We cannot escape our own minds. We cannot escape our own thoughts. And if we are hurting, and if we still need help, it's okay to admit that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with admitting that, hey, I'm having trouble in this area. Yes, this happened to me 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, but it still bothers me today. And I'm hurting. And as a result, I lay down every day, and I wake up every day, and I go to work every day. And these thoughts are still traumatizing my mind. When I see that scar, it still brings up those old memories. And so it's okay. So we hurt. And we've been told to fake it until we make it, or put a face on and put a smile on and let everybody else think that we're okay. But when we cover up things, when we cover up our hurts, there is no way that we can heal or resolve that situation. When we expose it and we begin to speak about it, and we begin to rationalize our thoughts as it relates to that thing, then that's when our healing begins to come. And so how do we know whether or not we're healed or whether or not we're hurting? Well, there are a couple defining factors that will help us finally figure out what side we're really on. Okay? So there's a couple things that helps us know. And the only thing that matters is that you know. See, we can't look for this to be affirmed or to be validated by somebody else's opinion of who we are, or whether or not we're healed or hurting. Because we got people that are judgmental. We got people that can tell you who you are better than you can, and what you're capable of doing and not doing better than you can. And it's time out for that. Now it's time that we hone in to who we are and know who we are and accept who we are and who our Creator has created us to be. So when we are hurting, I've said it several times today and over the past few days, we know we are hurting when we continue to hurt others. So think about that and sit in that a minute. We are hurting when we impose our hurts upon others. And this is why you can't wait for somebody else's validation or affirmation of whether or not you're healed or hurting It's a self-inventory. It's a self-reflection. Because only you know. Because it's going to show up in your behaviors. It's going to show up in the words you speak. It's going to show up in your attitudes. And it's going to show up in the company that you keep. So that's how we know whether or not we are hurting. Hurting people are going to surround themselves oftentimes with other hurting people. Hurting people, more often than not, are going to hurt other people. And hurting people hurt people with their actions. Hurting people hurt people with their words. You see the cycle? That's when we know we are still on the side of hurting. That's when we know it. Because that pain precedes us in everything we do. And all it takes is just a little something to trigger an action or a reaction for that trauma or for that betrayal or for that issue resurfaces itself and takes over and causes us to lose focus on whatever it is that we intended to do or not do. Hurting people don't have control over their thoughts. Hurting people don't have control over their environments. They don't have control over how they spend their time. The hurt controls all that. So I hope that you guys are following along with what I'm saying here tonight. If you're following along and you understand what I'm saying, give me an affirmation, a yes, or if you have a question about anything that I said, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. I don't want to lose you in the message that I'm trying to get across to us tonight. Because as we move forward into this season, we need to know which side we're on. Because there are going to be some things that are going to surface and that are going to come up that is going to cause us to have to stand. And when we stand, we're going to have to stand firm. We're not going to be able to stand on unstable grounds and not worry, not wondering about which side we're on. We're going to have to know who we are, and we're going to have to be where we can deal with these things that has held us captive for so long. We're going to have a grasp on that, because we can't allow this to be a distraction for us as we move into the next era. And so this is why reflection time is so necessary now. So are we healed, or are we still hurting? Are we still finding it difficult to overcome the issues that are past, but that continues to resurface itself from day to day and meet us in our everyday daily activities? Now, how do we know when we're healed in a certain area or when we overcome some things? Well, it's just the opposite. Because when we are healed, we speak healing to others. When we're healed, we think positive in situations that don't always look favorable. We can see the positive in that. When we are healed, we desire for others to be healed. There's not a competition at that point. We don't allow jealousy to get in the way at that point. We don't allow negativity to have its reign at that point. So this is how we know which side we're on. So think about it. Think about what your day looks like. Think about the thoughts that continue to surface, and the words that you're saying to others, and the interactions and the relationships that you have. Are they those of healing, positivity, encouragement, empowerment, uh, finding the good in whatever situation it is? Or is it those of hurting, having to put each other down, having to say words that are harmful, or uh, surrounding yourself with people that are going nowhere? And we're going nowhere together, full of gossip and lies and deceit. Because when we are healed, even when we find ourselves in the midst of hurting people, we don't stay in that situation. Because when we are healed, when someone who's hurting connects themselves to us, that life that we have begins to give them life and begins to connect and take them on a journey of healing as well. So when we overcome, then we reach back and we help others overcome and heal as well. This is the difference. So think about how your words help. Think about how your words heal. Think about how your words or your actions encourage someone who is hurting. And think about how valuable you are to someone that needs you and that is watching you. So we know that we heal through one another. And so that is important to know. Somebody needs you. Somebody needs what you have. And if you're still on the side of hurting, it's time to connect to that life, to connect with someone who you can trust to help you get to that point of healing, so that then you can reach back. You can reach back. And this is the way I believe that our churches are designed, or were designed to do. But sometimes even we can lose sight. Even we can lose sight and lose focus sometimes when we're so caught up in everyday life, or we continue to cover up and put on a mask to just say or to act a certain way just because we've been conditioned to do that, rather than really getting down to what the real issue is and doing the work. So think about it. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? And sometimes it looks like maybe we're straddled the fence. But I tell you, you keep in front of you the things that you are pressing toward. And so if it's healing that you seek and that you desire and that you're working toward, keep that in front of you. Because it's hard to heal when all we can see is pain around us. When all we can feel is that hurt continuing to resurface itself. Okay? I appreciate you guys taking out the time to join me tonight. It has been a blessing to be here with you guys. Also, I put the links here for you guys that are interested in joining me and being my guest in the Worthy of Abundance Summit. That is a summit hosted by August Crenshaw. I am speaking in that summit. That summit is scheduled for August 5th through 8th. I will be speaking August 5th at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And so if you'd like a ticket, I have put that link there. That link can also be found on my website. And there at my website, you can also find other books and resources that can help you along your journey. So, um, there's help out here available for us. All we have to do is apply it to our lives. We have these resources available. Me and several other people that we are being connected to has resources for us. Take time out to invest in ourselves. Be intentional with our healing so that we can reach so many that we know are hurting. There are people that need us, but first we have to be willing to help ourselves and being sure we're in a healthy space so that we don't impose our hurts on others who are already hurting, guys. I appreciate you joining me. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I'll see you here again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Good night, everybody.